it cost to retrofit, or not retrofit, but for new devices not thought of or built yet, to accommodate your bandwidth?
It depends on the device. If you're talking about cellular phones, where you've got millions of these devices and you can build at a very high level of volume, you're talking about filters that cost less than a nickel that exist today that can go into this. I think there was some ambiguity, or nobody really knew how expensive it would be to develop a filter for precision devices, which are really the hardest ones to deal with. Well, we now know that you can deal with precision receivers that are on the market today and also sold to government agencies and surveyors and all sorts of people who use them for $6. So going forward, this is a very small incremental cost to deal with.
And you estimate that you'll be able to provide Internet service to another 50 billion people in rural communities?
Is that on top of the 260 million we're required to?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we have already struck deals with several rural companies that we have the potential to go outside of our footprint. That's Cellular South, SI Wireless in Southern Illinois, and just today we announced a deal with a company that plans to deploy in towns down to 10,000 people or less that will reach out to areas that have been historically underserved. We may not have a regulatory requirement to serve above those 260 million people, but it's good business to do it, and we should be doing it.
And have you done studies on the potential growth from that, economic growth?
I know there are studies out there that indicate broadband infrastructure investment is one of the major determinants of economic growth. I grew up in a rural neighborhood that, where we had electromechanical switches until the 1980s in California. And I'll tell you, the one thing that keeps people in rural communities is if they feel they've got economic opportunity there. They're not going to have that economic opportunity if you don't have the highway going out there. Same thing is they're not going to have that economic opportunity if you don't have the broadband infrastructure there today. It's just not going to happen. And leave aside issues like public safety, provision of medical services, and education.
Thank you. I yield back.